Hey everyone, it's Unoriginal, and I'm back with another episode of Ramble back. Oh, and the cup is back this week. People seem to like the cup, so we're going to see if this video does as well as the last time this cup was in it, if it's me, or if it's the cup. It's a bad experiment because I'm both videos as well. In this episode, is it racist? We'll get to that in just a moment, with the main topic of this video from the thumbnail. But before we do that, I'll just jump back to talk about what happened last time I posted, not last week, but just recently. We spoke about SpeedyCoin. Now the folks over at SpeedyCoin were kind enough to see my video and leave a comment on that video as well. So let's just have a quick read of that, shall we? Basically, they just wanted to paint a bit of transparency around what their app does, which was no mystery to me at all. Basically, they've just reiterated that they are there for us to go out and survey other apps and gain coins that can be converted to money for doing so. They stipulate that it should take about 10 to 15 minutes a day, and you need to do that for about a week before you get your first $10 gift card. Then they apologized for sending me an opportunity to collaborate with them on a game that I've never played. They admitted that they were using the YouTube application program interface to basically scrape anyone's email address off a page that looks like it's in any way related to gaming, and they were using that to create this email distribution list. Whatever. Even though they've apologized for giving me this business opportunity, which I said I wasn't interested in, they've emailed me 3 more times since then. On the 24th of October, the 27th of October, and then again on the 29th of October. All seemingly about the same game again, NBA 2K19, so I think at this stage they're just doing it to spite me. Which is fine, I don't mind getting emails, it's the only emails that I get. Then they go into quite a bit of detail rebuking the point that I've made about it being easier to just get a real job and pay for stuff with real money. It's less work. They stipulate that a lot of their audience are probably too young to get real work, therefore the app exists for them. And if you look on the Google Play Store, yeah, the app is aimed at people 3+. So I made the joke that, you know, some people might refer to that as being child labour, and they turned around and said how insensitive it was that I would make that joke about child labour while they are promoting an app that is aimed at people who are 3+. How can you suggest that somebody who's the age of 3, 4, 5 or 6 can make an informed decision that the risk that they're entering into with downloading some of the apps that you display on your application are safe for them to put on their Android phone, which they don't even have? It's their parents' phone, let's be honest. Anyway, that's enough about SpeedyCoin. The last thing I'm going to say is that finally they swapped the avatar for their representative Alex from the stolen image they had from some Swedish vlog shop thing to just being their logo, so at least covering their tracks up a little bit. That's that rant over. Let's jump into the next thing. So the reason you haven't seen me posting in a while is because the last thing I posted was the first look into Red Dead Redemption 2. That was back on the 26th of October, and I haven't posted since, and it's because that game has come out and I've been playing that game, and it's been awesome. And also work stuff, but you guys don't care about that. The reason we're talking about this today is I saw an article come out of all of the blocked words that are in the programming for Red Dead Redemption 2. Assume that these are words that you can't enter into text boxes if you want to rename a horse, something like this, or once the online service launches, you can't name your character this, or if there are messaging boards, you can't type it in and push enter on those messaging boards. Some people go as far as to suggest that maybe you can't speak these words through online chat. I fail to see how that could be effectively monitored in any sort of way, given that several people say things with funny accents, like I do myself, as most of my audience probably thinks. But there is this list, and it contains all of these words. There's one word in particular that people seem to find surprising as for being on there, and that word is Pakeha. A large proportion of my audience are probably scratching your head wondering what the hell does that word mean. So to clarify, I'm a Pakeha. If you're white, and if you're from historically a different country to the one that you live in now, which is pretty much every country that isn't the Caucasus Mountains and fucking, Western Russia, then you are technically a Pakeha. It's a Maori word that refers to white Europeans that travelled to New Zealand in the 1800s to settle there. It basically means foreigner. So we were the only foreigners that they'd ever seen, so the word has come to be associated with white Europeans. And now legally, is used to refer to white Europeans since there was a treaty set up in 1840 between the white settlers that were coming to New Zealand and the Māori people. So in a legal sense, I'm also a Pakeha. That's what I put on the census. That's what I enter if I go for a job interview. I am a Pakeha. It's not a racist term. It's not a racial term in any way. It's just a word for what I am. But because certain people like to think of it as being a racist term, because it is a Māori word that is used or assigned to white people, and suddenly RockStar have made the decision to block that word from appearing in their game or from being used in their game. Now, if you look at some of the other words that appear on this list, it's easy to kind of see or how I come to that conclusion. There are some words on here that I'll probably bleep out later. Just around the P's, so this is just above the P's, you've got lynch or lynching, which is odd that they keep that out. Oddly enough, RockStar seems to be completely fine with the term lynching and lynched turning up in the cutscenes of the game, but aren't okay with you using this word to name your horse, which is a little bit hypocritical. It seems like they're completely okay with their content offending players if players are going to get offended by this word, but they don't want players to have the opportunity to offend themselves or other players by using it. It's just, why are we so concerned about people getting offended? Why should this stand in the way of a true piece of art or freedom of speech? I don't get what the logic is here. It's got Nazi and different spellings of that word. It's also got and every other spelling of the word. I'll bleep that one out because I don't think I'm allowed to say that one. If you're wondering which one it was the bad N-word. Actually, I think Nazi should be the bad N-word. Why do we... Fuck, I'm not getting into this right now. It's got rape. It's got redneck. It's got Nintendo for some weird reason. And right there, somewhere wedged in awkwardly between orgy and penis, is the word Pakeha. I think the reason that RockStar have made this decision, obviously, I don't know if they have any deep cultural understanding of what that word means in New Zealand, but if you look at Urban Dictionary, which is a really reliable source for information, it says that the top definition for Pakeha is that it's used as a term specifically for a New Zealand European people. In the Māori language, it means foreigner. Again, what we just spoke about. So it could be used for any non-Māori person. But then if you keep reading down, it says here under definition 2 that the Māori word for the name of a non-Māori New Zealander, specifically a white person, particularly of English or British descent, but including other English-speaking white people such as those of Dutch or Yugoslav ethnic origins, then we get down to the meaty bits. The origins of the word are unclear and the subject of much controversy. This is where it gets juicy. Generally translated as referring to a white or pale appearance, Pakeha has been variously described as meaning white pig, white maggot, or even white ghost, which may be in reference to the Pakeha, a pale-skinned forest-dwelling people of pre-European Māori mythology that definitely weren't Vikings. Today, some white New Zealanders embrace the term such as a unique reference to themselves, some reject it as racist and derogatory, while others don't care either way. I'm in that third category. I think that the people who are in the middle category are fucking dumbasses. And the move that RockStar has made here to block this word from appearing in their game is just stupid. Because if you are worried in any way that this is a racial term, stopping people from using it paints it in that picture. You know, you're empowering that word with exactly the connotations and the meanings that you're trying so hard to censor in your game. If you really wanted to censor or remove the connotations behind this word, RockStar, that you're so preciously trying to protect or protect your audience from, the best way to do that would be to let people use the word. Because if people are using the word, it's showing that you don't really care that that word exists, or that the meanings behind it are what some people, a small minority of people, think is racist. It's very surprising to me that they've decided to make this move, considering that the dialogue within the game has racial slurs in it. I know it's in the context of storytelling, and that you can't use that to offend players in like an online sense, or naming your horse or something after it, but to be honest, the only people who are getting offended at the word Pakeha are the people who are propagating it as being a racist word in the first place. I love these examples that they put in Urban Dictionary. Māori boy to white man, "Hey cuz, can I call you a Pakeha bro?" White man, "I don't care what you call me, old bean, just don't call me late for breakfast." Who the fuck talks like that? Māori boy. I wish all you honky white fellas would just go all back to England, bro. I wish you never came here in the first place. And white man, that would make things rather awkward for you, native chappie, since your grandfather was one of us. Oh my god, this is so toxic. Māori boy. Yeah, bro, that sucks, eh? I hate myself. Oh my god. Who wrote this shit? Oh, there's a meaning 3. There's a meaning 3 in Urban Dictionary under Pakeha, a racist term for a New Zealander of Caucasian descent. Exact origins of the word are unknown, but in the 1800s to the early 1900s, its common meaning was different. Whereas the word Māori meant same or normal, because Māori people had no specific word to describe their national identity, as they were separate tribes and whānaus around the country. This Urban Dictionary, if this is the only reference point that they had for Pakeha being an offensive word, I can see why they banned it from the game. This is so dumb. Anyway, what is the point of making this video? What am I even talking about? I guess what I'm talking about is, it's like what iDubbbz talks about in a lot of his videos, where he talks about the word cunt or the word nigger. The more that you discriminate against that word, the more you're empowering that word to mean exactly the thing that you are so offended by. I think it's a dumb idea to keep the word Pakeha, or any of these words really, from being able to appear in the game, especially because if you're monitoring those words, it allows you to see people who are going to use them and then ban them from using the game, and that'll teach them a better lesson than just, you know, stopping them from being able to type it in the first place. I guess that's the whole freedom of speech thing, right? Let people call themselves out for being dumbasses. This is the end of the video now. I just wanted to get that off my chest, that I think that people need to have a little bit more understanding about what exactly it is that they're getting so angry about before they get angry about it, or before they decide to do something silly like censor it, and then maybe, you know, it'll diffuse a situation that's never going to exist in the first place. I've been Unoriginal. This has been a video that I made. It's Guy Fawkes today, so this marks an anniversary of the last time I released a Nick's Notorious narrative video. I don't know if anyone on my channel even remembers that I do those, but I am working on the next one, so that involves a lot of animation. It's probably going to be finished in the new year, and it should be a good one, so keep an eye out for that. It's one of the reasons why I haven't been posting as much recently, because I've been trying to get some momentum going behind that. Other people who watch me for my what did I even call that one? Mandela Madness. It's been a while. So I've got another one of those episodes in the works as well. When you see it, you'll understand why it took me so long to actually get it finished. So keep an eye out for those. And subscribe if you want to see more videos of things like this. I'm gonna go now. Cheers. Ka kite ano. We love you.